And then you get to a point where, yeah, you actually truly do give less fucks. It's like, what do I want?
Welcome to Color Me Happy podcast. I'm your host, Brandi Hofer. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very grateful for your time, and I'm excited for you to dive into these raw and authentic conversations with creatives from around the world. Be sure to pop this in your ear when you're working in the studio and you need a friend, or if you're having your morning coffee, or if you're going on a walk. All good things to, get inspired through authentic conversation with other creatives. We ultimately want you to see your everyday ordinary as extraordinary and really tap into the idea that creativity is power, and we want to see you grow. Be sure to join our Color Me Happy community, follow Color Me Happy podcast on Instagram and Brandi Hofer Studios to stay tuned, and feel free to reach out anytime. We're happy to chat. Let's get started.
There we go. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, very nice to meet you. Thank you for being here today.
Oh my gosh, thank you for inviting me. I have been binging. As soon as I saw your podcast pop up on Instagram, I'm like, ooh, new art podcast to me. And then I just been binging it. So,
So all my recorded F-ups, I'm like, I guess they're going out anyway.
I love that. That's sort of my nature too. So I totally appreciate it. And I think nothing is perfect. I just need to.
Yeah, I was on your page and I'm like, oh, she likes to explore, which is so refreshing because there's so much pressure to like stay and niche down to like one thing. And it helps sometimes. And it definitely can be done for a reason. But like as an artist, like you're ready to go all over and try new things
with everything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't put me in a box and tell me I can only use one thing, right? And I can see just by your artwork that I'm looking at, you're the same, probably like playing with different mediums and just exploring.
Right. Yes. Okay. So I want to start with some warm-up questions.
Okay.
I was having these at the end, and then I was like, these are more fun at the beginning. And then if people are ever nervous, which only happens like 1 out of 5, it's great. It's a great way to get to know you too, which I think people are like, especially with someone that they see online and, that whole like perfectionism thing, and they think their life is all together. And you're like, oh, they're a human after all. And they like the same things I do, which is so cool. Okay, so this one, definitely, what's your go-to like drink while creating or in the studio?
It would have to be coffee. And if I could drink coffee all day long, then I would. There's just something about a warm cup of coffee, especially the first one in the morning. It always tastes the best. And it's like my go-to 100%.
I like tea, and I drank tea my whole life because at 18 I learned like it was good for you in college. So I was like, well, it's good for you, so I better do it. And I was like, this stuff's so gross. And then now I like it and I enjoy it. But last year I started in with coffee, and it's a real like mornings are better.
Especially we have a setup. So my husband's a coffee lover too. And now we like grind our own beans that we get locally and that are roasted locally. And when you have good coffee, it's really hard. And anytime we go get coffee, if we're out and about, I'm like, oh, but ours at home tastes way better now. It's almost like we've perfected it. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm like, what is this garbage? And I've only been into it for a year, but I'm a super dork with like I get obsessively into things and then I just drop them and leave. But investing definitely was one of them. I was like, investing's cool. I'm like, actually, no, it's not.
Let someone else take care of that for us.
Yeah, right? Like, anyway, yeah, now I like make my own milk. Like, that's how far it's gone.
What type?
I like, and I'm not a measurer, but like.
Same. It's a creative side.
Yeah. This is how I make muffins. Oh, they didn't turn out this time. Walnut, hemp heart, and a little bit of pumpkin seed and chia. So like chia helps thicken it a bit, but naturally. Yeah, I perfected the recipe. So it's like beautiful, creamy, really, really good for you, because what I just said was like all the things that are good for like omega-3s, niacin, which my husband has like a heart disease history. So like niacin's like they were like nice and nice and nice and at the appointment. So I was like, hemp hearts are full of them. Anyway, we've lost everyone.
Wait, I have one more question. Can you froth it in a milk frother to put in your coffee?
Well, okay, so I have, it's like the only housewares thing on my Amazon like profile on my shop. It's mostly art supplies, but I have like things I love in my house. It's like a nut milk maker. Because when when you read the labels at the store, like you can get Elmhurst and it's got it's okay tasting and I like it because I'm a purist. But all the other ones, like you can get all sorts of good ones from Elmhurst. Like cashew is really white and creamy.
From Elmhurst.
So good. But it's expensive.
It is expensive.
And then all the other ones in like the other side of the aisle, like have a bunch of weird stuff in them, which my husband can't have peas. Like we got our blood tested to see what mixes well with your body. And peas came up and all of those have pea proteins in them. So I was like, I'm going to make my own. And it takes a while to get a recipe that works. Like oats are too gummy. I don't know and oats are really caloric. So unless you're
gluey, which is
really gluey, that's it. Like if you're making your own paste for what is it called? Paper mache? Oats are but I don't want to drink it, right? So but let me tell you, they're making a killing off nut milk. And I said to my investor person coming back to invest, I was like, can we invest in nut milks?
Yep. Oh my God, I love that.
You can't directly invest in nut milk. I was like, if you would have done this before the oat milk, the Urson oat milk went into Starbucks, I would be rolling in dough. Come on.
Yes. Or
it's like that company's not public. I'm like, okay, but we got to figure this out. Anyway, if anyone wants to help me invest with my whims, I'm here for it. So anyway, you only need a handful in the milk maker and it's your milk with some nutmeg and cinnamon and a little bit of sea salt. Anyway,
I love it. And I think that's part of being creative too, right? The process of baking for me is really tough because I can't follow recipes and I just want to kind of zhuzh and go. I can cook and cook up a storm because I have that freedom to zhuzh. But baking gee, I wonder why it didn't turn out. It's because I didn't follow the recipe.
Yeah, there's a bit of science to baking.
You're like, gee, my husband's like, oh, shocking. Did you follow the recipe? I'm like, kind of.
Yeah. I looked at the picture and actually then I went from there.
Yeah, exactly.
In my mind, this would turn out.
I love the Pinterest fails when it comes to baking recipes.
Oh my gosh. So ugly. I'm like, if it's ugly and it tastes good, that's still a success to me.
More for me then, because if you don't want to eat it.
I know, you're like, ooh, that almond flour was really expensive and I made a double batch. Yeah, for sure. Okay, describe your studio space in 3 words.
Oh, cozy, inviting, and messy, but good messy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool hoarding piles of creativity.
And all mine, which this has been a dream, just to have a space where I can have all of this and no one needs to walk in and tell me, oh, I can't find this, or I don't know where that, because it's just my space. So very lucky to have it.
Absolutely. So when did you get that space? How long did that take? How long have you had your own little studio?
Well, we live in a multi-level split home. So this floor and the room that I'm in actually should be our living room. So now that my kids are older and grown, this big room, which I'm very lucky again to have, became my space when I started Life by Design. And that was 12, 13 years ago. So it's a big, long room. And it's multifunctional because when I started Life by Design, which was my sort of art introduction to following my passion for art, I had an in-house print shop. So I would print my own greeting cards and art prints and coffee mugs, and I would silk screen tea towels and t-shirts and all of those things. So it became my space as soon as I decided to follow my passion for art. So I'm lucky that I did have the space to be able to spread out and do that.
Okay, when was that? When did you shift into it?
It'll be 13 years, I guess, this December. So the weekend literally that I turned 40, I had a big aha moment of, I really just want to be an artist and I want to see what that life looks like. I've never followed a path or, an art career because it just has never been in the cards for me. So at the age of 40, said to my husband, I just feel like I need a bit of a sabbatical and I need to figure out how to set up a website. And then blogging was a big thing. And, I took an art course and I learned how to become all of the things and didn't look back. It was sort of this passion of always trying to find a way to be creative, but never, ever having an opportunity until then.
What were you doing before?
So I do come from a corporate background, but when I was trying to get pregnant with my first, I was having a really hard time. So I actually took a makeup class just for fun, thinking, oh, I really love makeup. And without realizing it, it was a way for me to express and play with color and things like that. And then I got pregnant right away. So I actually was on mat leave and I still had friends who were getting married and I started doing makeup as like a little side thing and realizing that I could paint women's faces and wash it off after. So it was playing with contouring and highlighting. And again, all of those things that I studied in high school through art classes. So when I got pregnant with my second, I thought I would love to be able to stay home with them, but I still wanted to work. I wanted to have a bit of a break from them and as well give them a bit of a break from always having me by their side. So I was a freelance makeup artist for about 13 years while the kids were little and growing up. It allowed me to work outside of the home weekends and evenings when my husband was able to take care of them. And then I transitioned into art because I sacrificed a lot of weekends as a makeup artist. As you can imagine, a lot of weddings, long days on set. I did some television. And I wanted to be home with the kids over the summer on the weekend as a family and be able to enjoy. And that's when I thought, well, if I could do anything in the world, and if money were no object, these are, exact questions I would ask myself. I always came back to being an artist, and I wanted to be a thriving artist and really just design the sort of path as I experience things.
Exactly. And so like coming into 40, I'm 39, so I get to turn 40 in 2026, which is exciting. But I do feel like, and I don't know if it's hormonal, probably hormonally driven, but I do feel that same sense of like urgency on, I guess maybe you wake up to time a little bit more. Like I know when we lost our parents, like obviously you're like shaken into time is your most precious commodity. But like 40, coming into 40 feels like giving less fucks.
I love that.
Giving like and starting to shed like what am I supposed to be doing or what is expected of me, and I don't really like that anymore, so I'm actually going to stop doing it.
That's interesting.
Is that what it was like? Because it's starting to feel that way.
It's funny because I'm now in my 50s. I have a friend whose birthday is today, and we literally had that conversation. I'm like, welcome to the 50s where you give less fucks, right? And I think it truly does start to happen as we mature. How old are your kids, Brandi?
They're still pretty young. They're 6, 8, and 10.
Yeah. So you're still juggling your time quite a bit, I'm sure. I think what happens, and this is my own perspective and experience, is you finally have a bit more room to contemplate and to process because you're not as ragged. Like I know in my 30s, I was busy raising 2 kids. My husband traveled a ton. I had a thriving makeup business. And there wasn't a lot of time to process and to think, which I think sometimes is good because I can overthink quite easily. And then you get to a point where, yeah, you actually truly do give less fucks. It's like, what do I want? I've now, taken care of everyone else and have been, their supporter and help them navigate decisions and things like that. But coming into this point and this age, and I think, of course, when we have big birthdays like 40 and 50, there is a lot of time to contemplate, especially I find the year leading up to. So 39 for you is probably this big year of taking inventory of, what you're doing, what you've done, and maybe what you'd like to see more of, and maybe even being able to put yourself first and have yourself be the priority. I know certainly I felt that a lot in my leading up to my 40s. And again, I think there was just this bit of freedom of time, freedom of, even when I think about our family situation, having a little bit more money to be able to say, okay, I have this flexibility. So it's like your world is expanding. And with each decade, I feel like it expands even further, because I know into my 50s, 49 was a tough year, because I think there's a lot of pressure, especially as a woman, like leading as we're aging. And it was suddenly, what do I want more of? What do I want less of? What do I want in my 50s? I'm still vibrant and I've got energy and I want adventure and all of those things. And I think it's having even more time. Now my kids are grown and out of the house. And suddenly I, have an identity and I can start to even shape her even more, and releasing a lot of the pressure of things like expectations from others and other people's viewpoints even. And even if we get back to specifically talking about being an artist, it's not a linear perspective, right? So it's being open to allowing yourself to have this journey of anything that you want to experience, and even putting yourself first a little bit, maybe. I don't know if that helps, but I'm going to end it with yes.
I think it helps a lot of people, actually. Thank you for sharing all of that. So I can like really relate to what you're saying. And I think it's because finally and the doctor's like, you can't say this because he's only 4, but he's definitely got ADHD and he's my last. So it's like really, and I don't like to label it, but it's like, what else? Let's just call him super energetic, bounce off the walls, never stops, sun up, sundown. He hit grade 1 and I'm just like, right?
You suddenly have a large chunk of time.
Well, it feels like a lot when someone's not like, he loves me most. So like he's got, if I'm in here, he's in here. If like, because the studio's fun, right?
Yeah.
Or mom's outside, I'm outside. Like, yeah. And the occupational therapist who came on my podcast, she actually noticed him online. Like we didn't hire one. She's just like, I'd love to talk to you about Teddy. It's like,
oh, I love that.
And then she came on and gave me a whole bunch of recommends on what to do, because she's an artist. And she's like, he needs, like, because winters are so long, like a space dedicated to him. So I built like a jungle gym in the garage where they can like hang and whatever. But he definitely is a ball of energy. So yeah, like him in school, it feels like I can finally get my life back. But at this point, I'm clearing space. Like, when you have that like itch, like, and you said like turning points in your life, like it feels like it's like, I must do this before I can do anything else. I just like our garage. We built this house with a studio, everything, again, like dream space. And we have a hardware store, so we have a lot of access to tools, etc. So the garage is like this play area, but also a tool area, and also bikes, and also hockey equipment, and I was like, and I did my studio last week, but I'm like in this space of like, in order to make the space for the new adventures and new passions and new wants and needs, I have to clear out everything.
Oh my God, decluttering.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite thing right now.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I came back from Portugal. I hosted an art retreat, and I came back into my space, and I loved my studio and everything, but I was just like, oh my God, there's too much. Like my nervous system and undiagnosed ADHD, I'm sure. I'm sure.
For sure. Women go through life. And I honestly think, it's not labeled correctly. I think it's a creative brain.
I agree 100%. And especially as I'm like listening to my kids, I'm like, oh, you feel that way about how you process. I'm like, I've always felt that way. We've never had, a label or, parameters, but it's just, I thought it was just my personality. But going back to the decluttering, how satisfying is like getting into the studio and letting go of old work. Oh my God, like just tearing up old watercolor pieces that maybe I was holding on for a certain reason or thinking, oh, just in case. And like even getting rid of old art supplies and really getting in like a really good, I'm going to sort, everything's going to have its place. I'm going to be bold and have courage to get rid of stuff. Because, right, I don't know about you, but like holding on to, oh, maybe I might do, a workshop, or maybe I might do a show coming up. Or do you know what I mean? It's like those maybes that you hold on to things for. Yeah, I'm in that. And I wonder if it's the season we're in too, with it being fall and kind of feeling like we're nesting a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm liking it though, because it's feeling like a weight has been lifted. They say cleaning's a way of procrastinating, and I definitely have fallen behind in work.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm back in my own space, so I'm happy about it, because I've been muraling, and it was full of muraling things, and I was working upstairs in our main table space because the lighting's so good. But I'm like, dude, you have 3 boys and a husband who they're everywhere all the time, and only can focus if I have like music on. And I don't know if you're like, how do you focus?
I
I'd
can't.
like to know. I
Yeah.
can only focus with music on. Like I cannot, or my brain is like,
That's funny. I have to actually just be in the quiet. I almost like, if I have music playing, it will affect the art that I make based on the intensity of the music. So anything that's really powerful, it will affect my art making, especially if I'm working on larger, like abstracted pieces. I try to just kind of be in my space and not be in my head, if that makes sense. So focusing on the sounds that my supplies make, if I'm, painting or sketching or whatever, that sort of tactile experience as it's happening. And if I'm finding like it's too noisy around my space, if people are home, if things that are going on, I'll put in my AirPods and I'll put them on noise canceling, but without anything on. So I think it's just, for me, it's a sensory thing. Like I really, truly just need to have a little bit of almost like a white noise. So nothing around me, so I can just be in the moment.
mm-hmm. Well, I can't sleep without what now I'm packing like white noise on my trips and stuff. Like it's ridiculous. But
For me,
like I
earplugs, I can't.
cannot sleep. Yeah. It's interesting because it's like there's just moments where your like brain's on fire.
Yes.
And
Especially if we're more sensitive. I feel like I
yeah.
hear, like as we've been chatting, I can hear the school kids out playing at recess, and unfortunately I had some devices going, turn that off, but I'm very sensitive to sound and to light as well. So if I can mute that a little bit, then that helps me focus and just be in a more relaxed state, I think. And again, that
Me too.
awareness, I just thought it was me. If we were at a party for too long and I was kind of feeling a little bit irritated, it's just because I was having sensory overload. If, I was hungry or hot or too many people in my face, right? And again, going back to the whole like ADHD, not diagnosed. It's just, we are more sensitive, I think, as creatives. We feel more, we see more, we take in more, we notice more, right? And it's the further along you are, I think, in your art career, the more you're heightened, your senses are tuned to that. So it's just a matter of recognizing that, okay, I've had my social time or my big, fill myself up time, and it's time to be in my quiet zone that feels comfortable and a little bit quieter in a lot of ways. Yeah.
And you recharge alone.
Yes. Yeah.
We always go to the Oilers games. I don't know if you know anything about Canadian hockey, but for my husband's, we started when he turned 40, and we go with like 7 couples and this year I'm like, do I have to go to the game? Can I go for the dinner
Yeah.
and then like skip all the like, and people who are fans are like, what's she saying? But like it's not I love what I don't love. I like, I'm an 80% fan. But like I love art and artists and creatives and painting, and I love tiny artists and a lot like little kids with their fun and their creativity, and that's inspiring, but again in like small little bits. The hockey games, and I totally relate. Over like it totally like it drains me times more than I have to be in that arena, like stuck in a chair for 2.5 hours. Oh, and if they go to overtime, I'm just like,
I'm
no.
finished. Well, I'm from Toronto, so I totally can relate. And
There we go.
I think about
You
the
know what I
last,
mean.
the Blue Jays. So I'm not really into baseball, but they played literally two games with their overtime. Like, who can sit there
Oh,
for
I heard about it at
6 hours,
1
right?
1 a.m. the other
Yeah, and I'm
night.
like, who can sit there for 6 hours and watch? So I'm a little bit opposite, where I love the energy and the action, and I'm totally there for it. But when it's over, I'm done. And like I
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of go from here to empty really fast.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's even I can relate that to an art session. If I'm like fully committed, I'm all in, I'm in my space, it is a really great like 2 hour session. I am there fully committed, giving it all, I'm taking it all in, and at the end I'm exhausted, done.
Yeah.
Right, like we're ordering dinner and I'm not getting up off the couch because I'm just going to put the TV on and chill.
Weighted blanket. Okay, so you're from Toronto. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But
Absolutely.
in Alberta, Saskatchewan, the fan base for the Oilers they're really nutty. But
they're like
Toronto's probably the same.
Yeah, I think if the Leafs were to win in our lifetime, I think the city would like catch fire. I really do. I think we would go crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and you know what I did to meet, because I have 3 boys in hockey, so I'm at the rink like over 200 times a year, as I also help and volunteer. I started packing last weekend, and this is where you can merge your worlds, is I started packing art kits for kids, and now I'm like making
dolls. Oh my God.
I'm like making little tiny friends, and we make art together at the rink, and I had the best weekend of all time.
Especially because there's a lot of waiting, like being there an hour before, and especially if it's a practice,
small town
watch. Yeah, exactly. I love that.
How many puff wheat squares can I eat? This is the most Canadian podcast anyone will eat. People are like, what is a puff wheat square? What's puff wheat cake? It's the best thing, look it up, you'll ever eat in your life. So the lady who ran the rink concession made homemade puff wheat and Rice Krispie squares, and I was like, I probably ate like 8 of them just in my glory at the rink with puffed wheat and little kids making art. It was so cool.
I love that.
And I want to talk about okay, do you know Jean Oliver?
Yes, I love Jean Oliver. And I think that's how I found your podcast. I think she had posted about it. Yeah. I love Jean Oliver.
We were talking about you.
Oh my gosh.
And then all of a sudden, do you think Instagram must be listening all the time?
Like 100% it's listening.
So because Jean and I talked about you, but after the podcast. So my phone was listening because she said, because this is my next dream. Like I love doing murals, etc. And I will do them if I'm asked, for sure. But she's like, you have to check out Nicki. And she just went to Portugal because Uptrack keeps trying to make me go to Portugal. I don't want to. And I said, ask Nicki. And then she's like, but I think you should go to Portugal and you have to talk to Nicki about it. So after the episode, I want to talk to you more.
Oh my God, yes, we should.
Making space for, I'm ready. I'm like ready for that shift. And I can feel it like 40s. And like, I like I want to travel again.
Yes.
I'm like so ready for being with women and traveling, which I know is more like, the reason it probably works better like for a decade from now is because your audience doesn't have kids anymore, like with them. But I'm like, that is like, so that's okay. I can aspire to be like you guys and host retreats and whatever. But like,
you don't know until you offer a retreat. Do you know what I mean? Like we'll talk about it more.
Yeah.
We never
know. So check out Nicki and her retreats.
Yes,
that's what we'll tell the audience now, and then we'll talk more.
I have 3 spots in Italy left. So if anyone is interested in being in person, and I have to say, when
I am.
come join me, we'll play together. I think too, I always say, like, you never know who is in your community. Like, we do connect. I think there's, always the few that will send me a DM and we'll have conversations that are really, rich and fun, and we get to know each other. But there's so many people that are shy to connect and to reach out and maybe to let you get to know who they are. And you never know. You never know who is in your space. And it really just takes, through Uptrack, highly recommend them, really well put together experiences. But it just takes 16 women. And it just, I don't know how universally you're connected, but you just kind of happen to manifest the perfect group of women to come together. It's always that same creative who is warm and open, and they just want to have this beautiful experience. And mostly my retreats are women. I know there's a few other artists who have, men and women join, but it just seems to kind of be the mix who's attracted. And I didn't always teach. It was something that I started doing as a way to kind of give back to a community where I learned a lot and wanted to give back. But being able to share my love for art and being able to guide people who maybe like me didn't go to art school and felt apprehensive because they didn't feel like they were good enough or they belonged, in our art creative world.
Art school can also make you feel like you're not good enough, by the
Oh my
way.
gosh, I'm sure. And I think
Probably worse.
and I think
Actually.
it's the whole traditional, in order to be a respected, successful artist. And that's my whole, even starving artist mentality. I have so much, and you can even tell I'm getting my hair pulled back. I'm really
anxious about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just think that, it's not linear. What I do and how I make money from my art or explore, my creative side, whatever, is going to be so different than yours and from the other, person next to me. But my goal when it comes to teaching and creating experiences, whether it's online or in person, is just to let you know that you belong. And every brushstroke you make and every time you sit down to create is the right way. It is the perfect way. And you are an artist. And if you have a calling or a passion to pick up supplies and tools and be in that tactile, beautiful, creative experience, I want to welcome you and give you everything I can to support you in that process. So to be able to do that online, I'm very grateful for. But in person, there's this beautiful interaction and we speak the same language. That's why I'm always happy to chat with a fellow artist, because I get so much inspiration from just listening to your journey and process and sharing, and we understand each other. Right. And I think that
Absolutely. Yeah.
to have that opportunity, because we don't always have creatives in our life directly. So to have that opportunity where you can speak with other people who might be from different countries and walks of life and ages, but to speak the same language and to get each other is magic. That whole experience. But we'll talk more after.
I'm here for it. I'm ready. I've been thinking about it a long time. So I cannot wait. It will happen. Weirder things I've manifested. So I have no I do have worries, but I mean, it's happening.
I love it.
I don't know when and where, but it is. But it's so weird that we talked about it and somehow we ended up chatting like 2 weeks later. So weird. But you know what, Instagram, if you're gonna keep doing this, I'm ready.
Yes, 100%.
Keep connecting me with the best ladies from all art ladies from all over the globe. Okay, so then let's talk about your journey into teaching then, and making like tutorials, educational content, and then creating your book. Like, what came first?
So I would say teaching, and it probably started 2017, where again, I thought, you know what, when I was a makeup artist, I used to teach workshops, and we weren't online as much then. And I enjoy, again, I think it's the sharing. And I feel like I'm very casual in my approach to things. So it's as if a girlfriend is sitting next to me, even though we've never met before. And I do like to share, and I want to inspire and, teach what I think works for me. So in 2017, I started with online classes. I was doing calligraphy, dip pen calligraphy then. And that's what I started with. And right before the pandemic, I launched my first watercolor online course. And so for me, it was a lot of timing. Unfortunately, when the pandemic hit, well, I guess fortunately I had something to offer, but a lot of people were struggling, and myself included. So having time and space to take an online class was definitely something people leaned into. It was either sourdough, I think jumping on TikTok and dancing, or take a watercolor class.
Right.
Like those were the things. And then through that experience, again, like teaching online classes, I leaned into it. It really, and I didn't realize it probably until a few years later, but it really helped me get through the pandemic. So with that, my audience grew, my skill as a teacher, I believe, grew. My confidence in sharing my philosophy around art. I feel like I gave myself permission. And again, being in my 50s at that point, because I turned 50 through the pandemic, I didn't care so much anymore about, trying to fit into someone else's box. I was going to be unapologetically me, and I wanted to make things simple. So Watercolor Made Simple was my online class that I think really took off. I have 80,000 students now who went through that class.
Oh my gosh, that's
Can you
insane.
imagine? I don't know. It's just everything as it was happening. I kept saying, oh my God, I'm so grateful. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this. It was a lot of those moments. And I think, again, like just being authentically me as an artist and as a woman, I think at that point I was ready for it. It's like you're in this point where you said you can feel it, like you're itching and you're kind of feeling a change. And I think it's, we have growth moments where suddenly we come into the space that we're meant to be at this age, with the experience that we have and, the person who we are. And I was just fortunate to have that. And then I truly believe I manifested my book. I was ready. I have always loved books, and I even did a bit of self-publishing as a makeup artist and created this really great makeup book that, stood on your bathroom sink next to you as you applied makeup, so I could take you step by step through that. And I always say to anyone in my creative space, you never know who's watching you, especially on Instagram. I was following a publisher who one of their editors was following me, and I kind of commented on a post of theirs, and I thought, I am ready for a book. I don't know how or when, but I am all in. I took a course through the girls at Good Type. They did an artist to author summit, which was amazing. And that was, in the year that I decided I really wanted to have a book. And I was very fortunate to have this publisher reach out to me and say, we would love to publish a book with you. So it doesn't always happen. But again, I think as long as you kind of put your intentions out there, you are sharing what it is that you're truly passionate about, and you're open and being strategic, of course, opportunities are there. It's just a matter of timing and, even grabbing them. So Watercolor Made Simple, my book, the first one, I think I have it behind me. It came out, I think it's our 2nd year anniversary next month, actually. And that was a really fantastic project. My editor was really wonderful to work with. And it truly became a printed version of my online course. And then with the second book that is just come out for pre-orders, it'll be available in April. It's a workbook style, so it has printed watercolor paper, so you can follow along with painted projects. That's
cool.
Yeah, I was trying to fight for better watercolor paper because I'm always like, okay, if I can get the best quality, right? So it is practice paper, and I'm okay with that. It's a beautiful book, and so it'll open up into 2 sections. It'll have technique and instruction on one, and then you can paint along with me in the second. And I feel like that was a do-over book in some ways, because my first book, although I feel like it's so successful and it truly became what I envisioned it, there's always room to improve, right? And to make changes. So the first book was full of a lot of emotions, and like, oh my God, I'd be standing in line at the grocery store and I'd see the cover PDF of I'd see the cover proof, and I'd start crying in line at the grocery store. It was like those moments where, oh my God, I can't believe that I get to be, an author of this beautiful book. So the second book, as soon as I was presented with the opportunity, I was like, yes, head down, focus. It was all business. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's fun.
And I will push for what I want with the paper, by the way.
I will try.
Which
even
probably
if I
wouldn't have done in the first time around, right?
Yeah. It was more like, oh, okay, that's the time. Oh, okay, that's. But again, I had such a wonderful publisher and editor, and I think that editor is most important too. But the second time around, I'm like, oh, I know what I want to do different with the painting projects and like the photos and all of that. So it is turning out to be a beautiful book. I'm in my last round of edits, and it's just another tool. And if I can put out, good quality tools that support artists to say, I want you to just sit and paint more. I don't want you to watch a tutorial of me. I don't want you to just watch and be, I want you to be a participant. I want you to watch, then turn it off and take out your art supplies and just make and be in that process of making.
Which, like, it is actually very hard to do. Like, speaking of classes and students, I've only had, like, out of hundreds, a lot of people do my online, like, portrait hacks and stuff. Like, I would say that's in the thousands, but our classes is still in the hundreds. But I'll get like one or two out of so many people, and they will be so frustrated, and they come at me and they're like, this isn't how you make art, because it starts off with kids, right? And I'm like, so I'm going to actually, which I'm glad they did come at me, but I'm like, you've only taken 7% of the class. So you don't know actually
What I've got in store for you.
there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, it actually is a very positive and empowering way to learn. And I do it physically in an art academy in person through our school system every single year with my 5 to 8s, grade 5 to 8s, and they're very receptive and excited. I've done it with 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. They're pumped about it. It's how I learned to personally draw florals using that technique. And it's just like, in this case, these people, and you have to help them through, even if they will get through or not. I guess that's what you have to let go of. They're in their own way. Like,
You know what, too, Brandi? People, bless you. People have good intentions signing up for classes, whether it's our art classes or whatever it is, and we get busy, right? And I think when I have someone sign up for a class, I don't want them to just sign up, watch the first 2 videos and leave. Like, I do want them to continue and to finish, right? Who does? Yeah. But it is amazing how many people, and I've signed up, like, I'm always taking classes and learning, and I love learning. But we get busy, and then we think, oh, I'm going to buy that class and I'm going to start it, next Thursday when my vacation starts or when I've got extra time, and we get busy, right? So it's unfortunate because they're seeing just a small part of the journey that you've designed for them through the course. And I mean, if you have advice, if anyone has advice and wants to comment, how do you get people to go through your course from beginning to end and do what you're asking them to do, right? And I think
just throw them a seed at the beginning and wait till the end.
You know how, actually, I've got the answer. You take them on an in-person retreat and make them spend a week with you.
Yeah, right?
Like, that's literally what we do.
Seriously. Exactly. I add to our course, which is great because, again, like, it's a great way to, like, if you like something, like, I moved from when I created the course using soft pastels to oil pastels to create. So there's 2 versions of how to make a portrait, which is, like, in itself worth the money. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, it is unfortunate. We do get busy. I do fully understand. But I'm glad that this last person reached out. It's only been 2 people in total, but you know how our hearts beat.
Yeah, we're more sensitive to negative.
I'm so glad, because I'm going to re-record an intro and explain why it's so important to get back to childlike play at the beginning. Like, what a gift.
You know what? And then to be able to recognize that there's an opportunity there to then speak, maybe a little bit, present it a little bit differently or clarify something. Because we think, like, it makes sense, like, this is the way we go, but there are other viewpoints. So I love that.
It's I'm classically trained, but I prefer this way. And I've seen people thrive in it, professional artists or people who've never drawn a portrait. So I'm very excited. And I'm sure you have, like, so many things go into, like, books and educational spaces and all the little touches that people don't know. But yeah, I'm ready to launch it into a retreat-sized journey.
Can I bug you and ask you? Can I ask you a question going back to your pastels?
Sure.
What are your favorite oil pastels now?
Oh my gosh, Sennelier. Oh, but
they're so dreamy.
Sennelier. Oh, they're like lipstick.
Oh, they're dreamy
pastel. But
have you tried RF paints actually?
Hmm?
Have you tried RF paint sticks? The oil paint sticks?
Yes, I do have some of those. I found them when I decluttered.
Brand new.
But also, though, it depends, because it depends on the project. And this is when you get dorky into education and teaching. like it depends what you're doing. I'll just grab Taylor. So you can see Taylor here. Like, so this is Sennelier because like beautiful and gorgeous. I'm using my sponge stick, but
Okay.
when I'm doing these like, more childlike sketches or mark making, how do you say it? Caran de Nash.
Oh, Dash. I love their,
yeah. Their neo pastels are fantastic. So
I just bought their oil wax ones. They're Neo Color 19
like a crayon
or something. Yeah, it's
yes.
weird how they've labeled them, but I just bought a few colors to try them.
Crayons for artists.
You know what though? As you're describing your art piece, I don't think that childish is the word to describe the way that you handle the leaves and stuff. I think it's artistic and expressive. Like, I feel like sometimes when we're not painting a realistic style, do you know what I mean?
You have to call it childlike.
No, and it's not. I think it's stylized. Like it's got a cool vibe to it.
Definitely, there's a conscious move there. You're so sweet. Thank you. I have a final question for you, sponsored by Red Bicycle Communications. If you had unlimited funds for your community for one day, what would you do?
Unlimited funds for my community?
For one day, yeah.
I would put
like crazy
best quality art supplies into their hands as possible. Like the best paper, I'm going to talk watercolor because that's probably what I'm best known for. The best watercolor paper, the best professional paints in my favorite colors, and my watercolor brushes that I can't paint without since I manufactured them.
Ooh, I want some.
Yeah, you know what? I need to order. We do rounds, and I need to order some because they truly are. Even when I was in Portugal, the women are like, "Oh my God," because I'd bring extras for people to play with. And again, putting better quality supplies in an artist's hand makes a big difference. It's like a carpenter using proper carpenter's tools. Not that I'm a carpenter, but I can appreciate it probably.
And it's funny because you have it with a bread knife.
You're cutting with an actual saw blade.
Right.
I don't know.
You have it with you at your retreat, and it's like your one it looks terrible. The one brush, and you're like, but you must return it to me.
Yes, please. Whoever has it, please leave your credit card, blood sample, title to your house. I think I would do that.
I swear if you walk away with that, you're gonna get it.
We're in trouble.
I mean, they are this was $42, so, and it's perfect for when I put down watercolor. I like it to stay expressive,
right?
And murals and watercolor. Yeah.
I have a question about we're going to do questions back and forth. What is your go-to for painting murals in terms of medium?
For paint?
Yeah. Spray paint. What are your
I haven't dove into spray paint because I really hate wearing a mask. Like a vent mask. And I've seen artists not wearing one, and I'm super judgy about it. So I'm just you're gonna die. Right? You can't be breathing that in. It's like cancer in a bottle. What are you doing? Also, you're next to me at the mural festival, and I didn't bring my mask because I'm not spray painting. Anyway, I'm super judgy about it. Or people using cranes without equipment. Anyway, I'm like the police at the mural festival who glares but doesn't do anything. I'm like, are you certified to work on that lift? No, someone said they just lend it to me, and I'm like,
I do that when I see artists with their brushes in their water jars, just sitting. Brush down in the water jar.
No.
And I'm like, oh my God, it causes anxiety. My room. I'm like, no, please take the brush out, lie it flat next to you. But
in this case, though, people could die.
Yeah.
So my go-to, and Kevin Lido came on the podcast and gave us this advice. He gave a lot of great advice, and he was so casual about it. He literally was holding his phone in his hand the whole time. And I'm like, Kevin, just get a tripod. Anyway, so he was so sweet, and he talked for such a long time. But he was so freely giving out. Oh, I've been dinged into my next podcast. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Where the time go? Can we do part two? Right?
10 minutes. He said two things. He said, one great thing, exterior latex paint is like, he said it's so hardy. You don't have to coat it. You don't have to, like, you're there. Like, this will last a long time. Don't worry about it. But go for the good quality stuff, of course. Sherwin-Williams was our Mural Fest sponsor. That was great, exterior latex. I love Behr. I got in a camper in the summer, and their Behr cabinet paint was amazing. So any high quality latex paint, awesome. And yeah, that's what you should be using. And then, of course, and I do have a mural class because murals are so intense.
I feel like I wouldn't even know where to start. Like
Just
when
bring
you
me
said
on your, this is
your
what
home thing, I'm like,
Rosso's doing.
if you ever need help doing one, I'm like down to come and be your
No,
assistant.
just bring me to one of your retreats and I'll paint a wall and I'll talk to everyone while you're doing the retreat and I'll paint a mural. I'll just join you for dinner. Yeah. I'll be like, this is how it goes.
No, but if you're coming as my guest, you have to bring me coffee in the morning because my husband comes as my guest. You have to take care of me a little bit. It's like
Jean also and they expect you to sleep together. I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, we can have twin beds, like sleep separately, but
okay.
I need a lot of comfort just so I, have a little bit of extra love during that week.
Yeah, I'll paint the wall and show you the process because it really is more of a, like, you learn at festivals from others. You learn about surfaces, and there's a million surfaces that you come into contact with. It's a whole. Murals are not for the faint of heart.
Yeah. And then you have to consider the elements, I'm sure, and the environment you're painting in. I can't even imagine.
It's a little bit stressful, but like the physicality, I love the install. Like, all the other stuff kind of sucks, but like the install with the people and the yelling and the exhaustion and the coolness, it's just like the best high of all time. Yes. And then he said, because we were supposed to talk about creative blocks, but we covered a lot of awesome topics. So he said, with big projects, or like, say, because a lot of people aren't walking into a mural, and he's a big mural artist, but he also works on canvas a lot. If you're uncertain, just start putting paint on the wall. Period. Just start rolling it out. Just start. And that's why I love watercolors and like coming in with the big brush. It's like you're kind of out of control. You're just painting, and then you let it dry, and you're like, it's magic already.
Yeah. Yep. Done. Yeah. My job is done. And it's interesting that he said that you just start by putting paint on the wall, because that's essentially what we need to do as artists, right? Looking at a blank page, a blank canvas. It's that apprehension of starting. It's like once you commit, it just, at first it trickles out, but then there's this like flash flood of creativity and expression and all that. So
that's putting that out for so long. Yeah, I have one sitting right in front of me for 4 weeks, and I'm podcasting and staring at it. Like, you know what I mean?
Just use your big brush, and you can even just fling paint from across.
Oh, I'm ready. So ready for it. But I also want to record it and put it in one of the large scale class, because it's another way of working. So that always, you can procrastinate recording pretty hard, because you're like, oh, I can't be wearing my normal clothes. I have to like look like a human. I showered
for you tonight, Brandi.
I didn't wash my hair, but I did it.
Sweater again for the third time. And today I've showered and I've changed my.
There you go. Yeah. So yeah, being like unshowered and in your normal hoodie, you can't record your content, because they were like, who is this person? People don't even recognize me out when I'm like, they were like, oh, I thought you were a 14-year-old boy. I'm like, okay, come on. Like, all right.
Thank you.
Thanks, I guess.
Maybe.
I mean, okay.
I know, I did that in Portugal. Actually, I showed up, in shorts and a t-shirt, ready to set up the studio. And then I went in my room really quick to freshen up and change. And I curled my hair and I put on a cute outfit. And then the women working at the estate where we stayed in Portugal, they were looking at me like, oh, where did this guest come from? And then they freaked out. They're like, oh my God, Nicki. And I'm like, yep, I clean up, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they were such shock. They're like, I can't believe it. I didn't even recognize you.
It's so strange. Like, and you notice too, like when you arrive somewhere from a long flight and you're like, oh, and then they see you later at the event, and I'm like, I met you on the bus.
Yeah. Remember we had the 3-hour conversation.
Right. Like, it's Hey, I just took my braids out and took my toque off, and another Canadian word. Okay. Say bye to everyone and where they can find you, and we'll stay on after for 3 minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you everyone for listening. Come and visit me at lifeidesign.com. And hopefully Brandi and I will get a chance to chat again. I think this was amazing. Thank you, Brandi, for having me. I always love chatting with fellow Canadians and artists too.
Yeah. Cannot wait. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Instagram at Brandi Hofer Studios anytime. I'm happy to chat. That's where I sit. And I'm so glad you're here, and I cannot wait for you to dive in. So give us a like and subscribe, and check the rest of our channel.
If you want to feel empowered and inspired, like and subscribe for more. And if you want to get creative, check out all our art hacks on this channel.